When the Pistons face the Celtics, the eyes tell the story of one of the fiercest rivalries in sports. Contrasting attitudes, contrasting coaching, conflicting styles of play. These teams have only one thing in common. They love beating one another. So put your feet up, folks. There could be another nail-biter next. Night of NBA basketball. We're at the Boston Garden, which of course is sold out as the Boston Celtics and the Detroit Pistons get together. Detroit leads the season series 3-1, all their wins being at the Silverdome. These are the two top teams in the Eastern Conference so far this year. Though Detroit has been struggling a little bit, they've lost 3 of their last 4. You look at those standings, and the Atlanta Hawks trying to climb back into things. As I said, Steve Jones, Detroit has been struggling.
The team has proven that they can here at the Boston Garden.
Should be a good one. We'll have it for you momentarily, but right now, Craig, 16,890 paid has gathered to watch this game, and we'll take a look at the starting lineups for the contest this evening. John Sally and Dennis Rodman now the starting forwards. Adrian Dantley comes off the bench. The rest of the lineup, as you might expect, Rick Mahorn bothered a bit by some back spasms. Chuck Daly, the excellent coach of the Detroit team. And there are the Celtics, and that's the way you'd figure them to be. That's the way they've been for a number of years. And a very underrated coach, in my estimation, K.C. Jones, the head man here. The last victory for Detroit in this building, December 19th, 1982.
That number is scary, 41 consecutive wins, but then if you're a gambler, that means you just throw the dice one more time because your number's coming up.
Ed Rush, Billy Oakes are our officials for the game, and we sincerely hope that you'll enjoy it. It should be a dandy, and the tip is knocked out of bounds. It will belong first to Detroit. Joe Dumars, Isaiah Thomas bring it up. Thomas crosses the line. Bill Lambier up top, and Bird has it. Thomas on the wing.
Now that's the guy right there that's really been doing it for him of late, and that's Isaiah Thomas, but they want to get Sally involved. He doesn't get it down.
Parrish with a deflected rebound. So Boston will have a chance to draw first blood. Dennis Johnson. Dumars plays in. Danny Ainge against Isaiah Thomas, gets into the lane, fades as he shoots it. Isaiah quickly the other way, 2-0 Boston.
Again, they come back to Sally, same result, nothing but iron.
They've gone to Sally twice, and they have nothing to show for it. Larry Bird, 4-3, got none. And Sally, out of Georgia Tech, clears the rebound. Thomas crosses the line against Ainge. That pass is deflected away. Again intended for Sally down low.
Well, that time Sally was open. If Bird doesn't stick his hand in there, that's a sure 2, and Detroit's on the board.
Isaiah Thomas, 2-point attempt. Rattles around, won't go. Bird had it, lost it. Parrish gets it. Dennis Johnson attacking slowly for Boston. Leaves it for Bird into the lane. That was blocked by Lambier's good defense. Thomas has Dumars in front. The trailer is Sally. It's Dumars baseline. McHale the rebound. Detroit can't throw it in the ocean, but Boston not getting much done either. It's 2-0. Steve Jones, Skip Carey with you from the Boston Garden. The Chief, Robert Parrish, 4-0. Dumars, another open jump. Nope. I think they're 0 for 5.
Well, they haven't made a shot, and the bad thing is all of it's been from the perimeter except for the one inside play for John Sally.
6-0. That's Dennis Johnson. Chuck Daly with play instruction. Isaiah from 18 gets him on the board. He had a great game in a losing cause against Atlanta the other night. Kevin McHale up top. Bird against Dennis Rodman.
If you look at the first 3 minutes of this ball game, and even with the shots coming from the perimeter for the Boston Celtics, you would say the tempo is in favor of Boston. Pistons have yet to really get a good breaking opportunity. Back to Sally.
Parrish blocked that, and Ames comes away with it, and Sally can't get it done inside. He screams for a foul, gets no satisfaction. Bird over Rodman. Drew the foul, 6-2. First foul of the game is picked up by Rodman, who will soon be profiled in Sports Illustrated.
Well, Rodman played them the way that you should. He got right up on Bird and challenged him to make the drive. Bird with a tough fadeaway jump shot doesn't get anything but the iron, but gets fouled in the process. But if you're going to play Larry Bird, you have to play him for that perimeter game first.
John Sally departs as Rick Mahorn comes in. Despite the bad back, Sally struggled the other night against Atlanta. He'll be back, but he got off to a rocky start in this one. 8-2 is the score. Boston has the lead. Detroit has the ball. Mahorn, the offensive rebound. Lambier, the open jump. Boy, he can shoot that ball. It's interesting that Bird's playing him, but he's a perimeter player, so you might as well.
Well, they always try to find the guy that's going to hurt Bird the least in the defensive scheme and allow him to guard him, and that way he can roam as the Celtics look inside and they have their first turnover tonight.
Ainge was surprised by the pass.
Who is that guy you brought with you? You got that extra frog in your voice tonight.
I don't know what's going on here. Just working with you again, I'm all choked up. Parrish knocked that away, but Rodman gets the layup. Talk for a minute while I clear my throat.
All right, well, the Boston Celtics still have the tempo in their favor, and of course they'd like to get Kevin McHale involved in the game. He is really yet to shoot the ball after a tough ball game the other night.
Another turnover for Boston. The frog is gone for the moment. I'll keep you posted. And now Detroit can tie the game with 7:58 left. Detroit has no turnovers in the game to this point. Lambier against Bird. Score it and a foul. Bird picks up the foul, his and the team's first.
Well, if you're Boston, you say this is a cruel April Fool's joke. Do you never get this call right here? Bird barely got a piece of that elbow, and that may wake Lambier and the Pistons up. He gets the three-point play.
And just like that, Detroit springs to a one-point lead.
Pressure by the Pistons now. They found that they had some success with this in forcing Boston to play an up-tempo game.
Detroit has scored 7 unanswered points here. Ames with the offensive rebound, but he runs into McHale. It's kicked out of bounds by Isaiah Thomas. So Boston still has it. A 20-second timeout is called by Boston. That's an interesting point you made, Steve Jones. A lot of people think the Celtics want a fast break all the time, and they do when they have the opportunity, but they're a veteran team, and it's late in the year, and they may not be able to go as hard and as often as they would like.
Well, what they want to do is give the illusion of running. They like to throw that ball long and get a cheap basket, make you play the home court. Now, you take a look at what's happening at home. Detroit has been dominating Boston at home, and the same is true here in the Boston Garden. But I think the pressure rests in this series on the Detroit Pistons to prove that they can win here, since it's been such a long time since they won in the Boston Garden. Again, we told you it was 41, and I think Boston has not won in maybe about 10 or 11 tries at the Silverdome, but it's a much different mentality here at the Boston Garden.
Johnson works against Dumars to Bird with the left hand. His first basket. Boston by 1. It's 10-9. 7:08 left, quarter number 1. Isaiah banks it up. It won't go. Good job, Rodman. That won't go for him. Perry. Bird. They clear the zone. It's Bird one-on-one with Rodman.
Well, again, Rodman has done a good job of Bird to make that shot, and he does. But he's going to make some of those.
Rodman did all you can legally do. 12-9 Celtics. 6:35 first quarter. Dumars, that's way short. Parrish the rebound. Looks long, now finds Dennis Johnson, and Boston deliberately to the attack. Kevin McHale up top. Parrish.
Well, McHale is the only guy that doesn't know how to look at the basket. They try to go to him now. Now, you know, once it comes in here, it's going to go up.
Mahorn all over him as he misses, and Dumars the rebound. Lambert pops in a hurry. That won't go. Parrish doing a yeoman's job. For Bird, too far. Bird crashes into the press table. He's all right.
Numbers, and that's the last guy you want to shoot a three, and he dropped it off. A good pass to Bill Lambert.
Rodman made the good play. Lambert has 7. Boston by 1. 5:35 left in a low-scoring, physical first quarter. Parrish gets a look. That won't go. Mahorn high in the air for the rebound. Mahorn has it back. Detroit can reclaim the lead. Isaiah Thomas against Danny Ainge. Mahorn is open and drills it. He's a much better shooter this year than he's been at any time in his career.
Well, that's true, and he's been getting those kinds of shots, wide open 15-footers, and he's been able to take advantage of it.
Ainge on the way. One personal against each team. Dennis Johnson from 20 drills it. His second hoop of the game. We're on a seesaw. Boston by 1. 4:40 left in the first quarter. Lambert post low. Bird knocks it loose. Lambert gets it back. Mahorn again.
Well, that's what made shots will do. It will breed confidence. Now, if you're going to have Mahorn shooting 18-footers all night, you got to figure you're going to have a lot of success. But he's gotten his first 2 shots to go in.
McHale's little hook won't go as they battle for the rebound. A foul, I believe, on Parrish.
Parrish over the top.
Timeout is called here. 4:11 remaining in the first quarter. Detroit leads it by a point. We'll be back to the Boston Garden right after this.
At the Detroit Pistons have to run. Well, it's not exactly classic fast break basketball with Dennis Rodman with the basketball, but he is going to look around, and he's going to be looking at everybody, and all of his options are pretty much going to be covered. Now, you know he's not going to be looking for the shot out of here, so he's looking for Bill Lambert, the trailer, to come right in here somewhere and get a return pass for an easy hoop. Now, watch the lane open up, and there's Bill Lambert for the easy 2. Hey, it's as simple.
On your telestrator, it's simple. It's not simple out on the floor. Mahorn looks for his shot again. He's 3 out of 3.
Now, that's what made baskets will do. It'll make you look at the hoop and begin to build confidence. Where Sally couldn't get it done, Mahorn had.
Detroit by 3, their biggest lead. Ainge against Thomas. Mahorn plays McHale. Dennis Johnson.
Well, they gambled with Benny Johnson. It doesn't pay off because McHale gets the offensive rebound.
And his first points of the night. Detroit's made their last 4 shots, 3 of those.
Well, Mahorn is begging for the ball. You know, he feels like he's got the hot hand and can do pretty much whatever he wants.
Rodman.
There's a hostile crowd here at the Boston Garden because they don't understand why they don't get all the rebounds. Rodman gets that one, and they start to boo their own team.
Larry Bird in the lane with a left hand. Detroit by 1 and with the ball. 2:37 left first quarter. Lambier over Bird. Yes, sir. So they're lighting one another up. Lambier now with 9. Rodman plays Bird at the other end, to be precise. McHale is held by Mahorn. And Detroit calls a timeout here, and they do it with 2:15 remaining in the first quarter. It's a 3-point game with Detroit on top, and we'll be back. 118 Detroit, our score, with 2:15 remaining in the first quarter. Whenever these two teams meet anymore, your thoughts go back to Game 5 of last year's wild and woolly playoffs. Let's look at that one huge play.
Bird coming off of the McHale screen.
There's Bird with the ball against Mahorn.
He'll take it to the hoop. You can bet. He's going to try to draw a foul.
It's blocked. And Feasting hit it off of a Detroit player. No, it is. Here's a disparity in the call. They're going to give the ball to Detroit. Bird steals it. Johnson, layup, Boston. 1 second left.
And that lead held up. And who knows, that may have been.
Skip, how many times do you think all of the Pistons have replayed that in their mind as Ames misses from the front?
Countless times. And everybody blames Isaiah Thomas, and he threw it, but Bill Lambier really didn't go after the ball, didn't go to the ball. McHale. You win as a team, you lose as a team. You got to share the good and the bad.
Well, McHale is known as a black hole, and it's beginning to gobble up some things at the offensive end as well. Last back-to-back buckets for him. Here's a guy that's got to heat up, and that's the microwave as Lambier continues to stay hot. We've got 11 in the period.
You're keeping score tonight. Can't drive, but you can keep score. 1:25 left, first quarter, 23-20 Detroit. 9 on the shot clock. Bird fakes, unloads, and Rodman fouled it. I say it every time I do a Boston game, but Dominique Wilkins had the greatest quote anybody's ever had about Larry Bird. He said, when you're playing against him, you're looking into the eyes of an assassin.
Well, that's true. A talking assassin at that. But Bird was being played very tight, and Rodman did an excellent job against him, and then Bird beat him with a couple of inside moves. He loosened up, and what does Bird always like to do first? Fake before he shoots. Rodman goes for it, and that gets Dantley in the game, and Bird a 3-point play.
He has 11, does Bird. Dick Versace, one of the Detroit assistants, talks it over with Dennis Rodman at the far end of the Piston bench. Vinnie Johnson comes off a pick, set by Lambier, and drills it.
Now, Vinnie Johnson is in a slump. He's been in a slump all year long, and they're hoping that he'll come out of it and he'll be the X factor for them in the playoffs.
Ainge has it deflected away, but McHale winds up with it, knocked loose. Foul Isaiah Thomas, and he runs away from the scene of the crime to avoid a technical.
You know, you talked about Casey Jones not getting enough credit, but you look at the number of games he's coached, and if you looked at his percentage, it's really big as a Boston Celtics coach.
McHale has his 5th point. Boston can tie it up if he connects here. He does, and they do. We're tied at 25, and we have 45 seconds remaining in the quarter. Lambier, boy, he is doing it. 31 seconds left. McHale, great shot. After a slow start, he has 8. Boston will get the last crack at it here as Detroit attacks now. They can run it down to about 4 seconds. They don't choose to do that. And now Boston will play for the final shot. Boston has all that time, and they've got Bird posted. They get him the ball against Dantley. Not this time. Lambier the rebound. Benny Johnson will not count. And it's gone. Well, the first quarter was just about what you'd expect it to be. Very physical, very close. All tied after one. We'll be back.
We're not a mind game. Everybody in the NBA plays them, and perhaps Isaiah Thomas, with this, is playing a little mind game with the Boston Celtics and his team as well. But you know very well that not only does he want to win this game, but they'd like to have the best record in the Eastern Conference.
Tell you what, they got some problems even having the best record in the Central Division now. Atlanta is 3 games behind them, but Detroit plays 2 games here in the Boston Garden, 1 in the Omni in Atlanta. The schedule favors Atlanta, so it's vital for them to get either one of these 2 games or the game in Atlanta.
Who would have thought the way the Detroit Pistons started off, at the end of one, they'd be shooting 50%. The Celtics are shooting 52%, and everything else is pretty much even in this ballgame. Jim Paxson checks in along with Mark Akers for the first time tonight.
In the first quarter, 8 men played for Detroit, 5 for Boston. But now 2 more have checked into the Boston scheme of things. Dennis Johnson posts up and misses. Lambier the rebound. Dennis Johnson knocks it free. Isaiah out of there with it to Vinny. Good move to elude Bird, but he missed the shot. McHale the rebound. Here comes Jim Paxson up the floor. He's averaging 8 points a game since joining Boston.
Again, McHale has got that deep, low box position. That time it doesn't pay off, but he's been able to get that ball and hurt the Pistons inside.
Still tied at 27. Mahorn goes to the hoop. Not this time. Rebound McHale. Dennis Johnson with the outlet pass. We have played a minute of the second quarter, and neither team has scored. Bird intended for Paxson, who tries to save it. Dennis Johnson does. He's in the crowd. Akers with a running right hand. Boston has the lead. Long way to go. We're in the first half. 10:40 left.
2 players that have to get going at the offensive end for the Pistons. The guy with the ball, Adrian Dantley, and Isaiah Thomas. They come back to the hot hand, Lambier, but he can't pay.
29-27 Celtics. They beat them by 38 points the first time they met here. Worst loss of the year for Detroit. In Detroit, the 3 games the Pistons won, good block Lambier, have been by an average of 15 points. So they've all been blowouts. This one is close. Lambier. Yes, sir.
Lambier is really playing well at the offensive end. He did something that surprised McHale. He blocked his shot, and after that play went the other way, McHale looked at him and said, "Who, you? Come on."
Lambier is 7 of 9 from the field. Dennis Johnson, no. And a foul on Akers. Dirk Minifield checks into the game. So does Fred Roberts for Boston. John Sally returns for Detroit. And Benny Johnson brings it up the floor.
Well, with Lambier, who was the hot hand out, again, you really have to emphasize Dantley and Benny Johnson at the offensive end.
Benny behind him, a horn pick. Lunged forward as he shot that. But shot it long. Minifield up the floor to Fred Roberts. Flies by Sally. (31-29). That's the first fast break basket of the game. Bird gambled on a steal, didn't get it, and Dantley missed the shot, and there's Bird again. Minifield up the floor. Akers is posted low. They can't get him the ball. Roberts back to Minifield. 10 on the shot clock. Bird against Sally with the left hand. Amazing. Amazing. 33-29. 8:42 left. Bird with 13. Good luck to Dumars, who broke away later in. His first points of the game. Isaiah Thomas has just 2 points to this point. Dantley doesn't have any. He's played very little. Bird, not this time. Dumars the rebound and a whistle. Roberts picks up his first.
James Edwards checks in the ball game, and he is a center that they feel that can help him. He's got good offense and like a turnaround jump shot at the low post. We'll see if they can find him.
Paxson knocked it loose. Vinny gets it back. 10 on the timer, and he lets it rip. Johnson's second basket.
Well, Vinny is determined to really shoot his way out of this slump, but as I said before, they need a big game from him tonight.
Minifield up the floor against Dumars, off to Paxson, back to Minifield. Passed up the jumper. 10 on the timer again. Fred Roberts against Sally. Can't unload. 4 on the shot clock. Terrible pass by Roberts. And a foul on Paxson.
Well, it was a smart foul by Paxson because Vinny Johnson has got a breakaway and an easy 2. He reaches in to try to make the steal. They have to take the ball back here.
Brad Lohaus checks in for Boston. Bird gets a rest.
Well, Boston bench here of late has made some big contributions for them, and they've gone to them here in the second period of play. We'll see how they respond against the Pistons bench.
Second foul on Paxson, a 2-shot opportunity for Vinny Johnson, who's only a 66% foul shooter, which is unusually low for him.
Well, he goes with the year he's having. Normally he's closer to 80%, but this year he's shooting in the low 40s from the field, 66% from the line, and it's just been one of those years where someone forgot to plug in the microwave.
Johnson has 5. Stay tuned for the Prudential halftime report. Craig Sager will be along with news, scores, highlights from around the NBA. Tonight, the long road back. Bernard King, Bill Walton, Kevin McHale talking about coming back from injury. He makes 1 out of 2, does Vinny. So Boston has the ball. They're down by 1. Holding foul against James Edwards.
Now, with the unit that Boston has out on the floor, Roberts, Lohaus, Paxson, Akers, and Minifield, Paxson's got to be one of the primary guys to score along with Fred Roberts. So if the Pistons really put some pressure on, they might have a chance to break loose.
Jim Paxson shoots it long. Roberts on the back of Dantley, called for the foul.
Now that's the second personal foul against Roberts. He can't understand. I'm just going after the ball.
Since the second units have gotten in, a lot more fouls than in the first quarter. There's the dapper Chuck Daly, who's also a heck of a coach. Detroit is going to do the impossible next year. They're going to play games in a place that's even further away from Detroit than the Silverdome.
Yes, and it's also going to be smaller, so that means the tickets are going to be big premium as the Pistons continue to play well.
Dantley, who loves to operate at that foul line, and is 85% from there, makes them both. So Detroit leads it by 3. Paxson fumbled away a layup into the hands of Joe Dumars. Here's a fast break opportunity, and Vinny Johnson takes advantage of it.
Timeout coming up. Casey Jones wants to talk to the green team.
They're lean and green, but so far they haven't been too mean. With 6:49 remaining in the first half, Detroit has grabbed a 5-point lead over the Celtics in the Boston Garden.
Chuck Daly is one of the more realistic coaches in the NBA. You see the outstanding job he's done for the Detroit Pistons, and you see what he says when he talks about coming here to the Boston Garden. The beginning of time, well, that's maybe a little bit of an exaggeration, but they have had a tough time. Now, the guy that's been here since the beginning of time, there's the architect of everything good that's happened here at the Boston Garden, Red Auerbach.
And a great friend of all of ours at TBS. The first unit's back in for Boston. Their bench was outscored by the Detroit bench 15-4. Dantley with a good play.
Casey told him, I gave you a chance, guys.
Ainge from three-point range won't go. James
Wide
Edwards.
open Dumars.
For Sally, they still want to get him untrapped, and they do. His first points, 40-33, Detroit by 7. Sally got to that. Dumars has a 4-on-1 to Dantley. Foul Ames, 2 shots.
Well, the crowd wants to travel before the play, but Ames was in a bad position. There wasn't anybody back there to help him, and you can see there's 1, 2. Where's that other blue shirt? He's coming later on.
There he is.
But there are 4-on-1. Dantley goes in, and he's back at the line on the foul.
I don't want to make you nervous, but your telestrator over there is having a nervous breakdown. Look at that. Dantley misses his first free throw. He's 2 of 3. Those are his only points. So the foul by Ainge has saved Boston at least 1 point. It's an 8-point lead for Detroit. Ainge from 18 got it. His second basket of the night. But it's 41-35 with 5:35 left till halftime. Steve Jones, Skip Carey with you from the Boston Garden with NBA action. James Edwards.
Edwards likes the turnaround jump shot. Fires that home.
Edwards pays his first dividend of the night for Detroit. Boston, a lot of perimeter stuff here lately.
Well, the Pistons have done a good job of forcing the ball out on the perimeter. Johnson misses. Dantley rebounds. In Boston, the Achilles heel has always been make them shoot the ball over the top. You've got a good chance to come away with the win.
Detroit can build a 10-point lead if they convert here. Against the double team, they swing it rapidly. Here's a guy not afraid to shoot it. Edwards tips, that won't go. Bird, the next deflection. Great shot, Dennis Johnson, and the foul.
Dennis Johnson has never been afraid to accept the challenge of making the big play, and here's a big play right now at this point in the ball game with Boston struggling to score. A little love tap to Joe Dumars on the way in with that green elbow that's wrapped up, but he gets the three-point play.
Dennis Johnson is a real pro. No scoring game in the Spectrum today. Dallas and Washington have a good one going. Dallas comes here tomorrow. Edwards from 17, shot at 16. It's 43-38. The Celtics can move back to within 3. Ainge just checks, shoots it over Isaiah, and drills it.
When Boston has been down in ball games this year, Danny Ainge has been one of the sparks that's been able to make a couple of field goals and get them close. Dantley.
Boy, almost walked. Fadeaway jumper won't go. Look at Johnson and McHale block up. That was like a clinic. Bird, no. McHale from Dumars. Yes. Detroit wants to talk it over, and the Celtics are right back in it. 43-42, 3:39 left till halftime. The conclusion of tonight's game, Steve and I will be selecting the Miller Lite player of the game. Lambier has returned and comes in firing. Detroit has missed 6 straight shots. They're 6 of 17 in the quarter, 34%.
Well, they've all been from the perimeter, and they've all been rather quick opportunities against some pressure defense. Boston, on the other hand, has made some challenging shots of their own. They sent it over with Ames.
Isaiah Thomas has been quiet tonight. Sally threw it away. Parrish the interception. First turnover for Detroit. For three, Ames. Yes, sir. Boy, he's made himself a good player, hasn't he?
When Ames made his first jump shot, they were down by 10. He's made 7, and he's put them up by 2 in this period. So Ames has had a big part of the comeback. Isaiah Thomas with it.
Ames with it. Bird hits the floor. Sally hits the floor. Everybody's all right. McHale for me. Boston is cooking now. Here comes Rick Mahorn getting ready to return for Detroit.
Now, we've hit one of those stretches in the ball game where it looks like Boston is doing all of the running and getting the easy opportunities, and the reason for it, all the shots for the Pistons have come from the perimeter. Nice drive, Dumars.
But he left it short. He screams for a foul, gets no help. Ames. McHale spots up at the head of the circle. They go to Parrish. Threw up a prayer, no answer. He screams for a foul, doesn't get it. We enter the 2-minute period. It's 47-43 Boston. Detroit has gone ice cold. They've missed their last 8 shots after building an 8-point lead. Had a chance to go to 10. Dantley, he'll wind up at the line, and he'll shoot 2 more.
Well, Dantley is telling Bill Laimbeer, just a half a second sooner, not only will I get the foul, but I'll get the shot at the air and possibly a 3-point play, and they perhaps will have an inside game. Sally out of the ball game, Rick Mahorn in.
You know, the collision last year in the playoffs between Vinny and Adrian Dantley may have been the deciding factor. You never know, of course. That ends a 12-point run by Boston as Dantley gets one down.
Well, there's one thing we know. Those two guys rarely dive on the floor for balls, and then for them to come together in one attempt, that's part of that magical luck that seems to take place here at the Boston Garden.
I think it's highly unlikely that Adrian's going to go for another one because he gets to spend an extra day here in the house. Vinny Johnson to the front court. We're down to 1:35. Birdman. Ball goes to Detroit. Parrish and Laimbeer banged at one another a little bit. That's not news.
Have you ever seen Bird look at the basket after he's missed a shot? It's like he almost can't believe that he's got air and just got nothing.
Mahorn comes in firing. Boy, where would Detroit be without him tonight? Mahorn has 8, and he and McHale bang at one another.
He gave up the position, and McHale did a good job of moving around the other side. Laimbeer said, I got a block.
The Hulk Hogan of the NBA.
You'll see them bumping and pushing inside, and that allows McCorn to spin off. And right there, his hand got a piece of the ball, but he also got part of the arm of Kevin McHale. But when you don't get very many blocks, anytime you get your hand on the ball, you got to say I blocked it.
He has his block for tonight, is probably what the officials thought. Tell you what, he's the man people love to hate around the NBA, but he is every team in the league would love to have him.
They got 2 of them, Ames and Laimbeer.
Thomas drills it. If there was ever a man who needed to study Tai Chi or karate, it's Bill Laimbeer.
Again, they come back to McHale.
That's a walk on Dennis Johnson. Boy, that's a call you don't see made very often.
Well, except when it's so obvious.
You can't do it when you're out there all by yourself. Now Detroit can take the lead back, and the Boston hot spell has come to an end. 40 seconds left in the half. Craig Sager standing by with all the other NBA news.
Again, you wait for this guy to take over, and he's made his last 2 in a row. Isaiah Thomas.
Detroit by 2 with 30 seconds till halftime. Dennis Johnson had to change it, thus he missed it. Foul, I think, on Dennis.
Now they call this one on Kevin McHale. McHale and Mahorn were locked up trying to get the rebound. McHale comes over the top.
You know what that proves? I was wrong about who the foul was. That's surprising. John Sally about to get back into the game. First, Mahorn will shoot 2. He's a 78% foul shooter. He has 8 points. Third miss of the night for Detroit. Boston yet to miss one. 22 seconds remain. Sally checks in to play defense. Dantley goes on. Mahorn 1 of 2. He has 9. 3-point game. Boston plays for the final shot.
Well, the thing you don't want to do is give Bird an opportunity to nail a 3, but he's working for an opportunity. Now you got to get all over him.
Parrish for the turnaround jumper. Only his second basket. Oh, the steal by Abe. Does that bring back memories? Mahorn with 3 seconds shoots in desperation. No good. And a foul is called on McHale. And a 2-shot opportunity. So the half isn't over yet. McHale storms at Billy Oaks. But the half is not over. Tie game.
Well, if there's 2 seconds left, all the Boston Celtics have gone in.
Well, there may be 2 seconds on the clock, but the half is over. And a very, very good one, and another dandy should be coming up. We're at halftime. Boy, what a wild end to it. Your score, Detroit 54, Boston 53. Craig Sager with you right after this. First half stats.
What is wrong with your voice? 48% for both teams. You see that the free throws are almost even. 2 big free throws at the end for Ricky Mahorn. The rebounds, a huge advantage for the Boston Celtics. Turnovers in favor of Detroit, but the bench has been the story for Detroit. They've got more productive depth than the Boston Celtics. As we take a look at the leading scorers, and one of those guys happens to be Mahorn off the bench along with Benny Johnson, and the starters are the story for the Boston Celtics. And what else is new? When the starters don't do it, that makes the 6 o'clock news.
Boston will have a chance to score first as we go to the third quarter. And Mr. Bird over the backboard. Detroit gets it. Big TBS NBA fan Susie Dunn looking in tonight down in Seminole, Florida. A little under the weather. We wish her a speedy recovery, as does her husband. And Isaiah Thomas brings it up the floor.
I really
against Danny Ainge.
Skip, I really think that Isaiah has to take an expanded role at the offensive end. He's been willing to try to get other people involved, and one of the guys is Lambier, and that's because Bird is guarding him, but he's also got to shoot the ball.
17 for Lambier, 3-point Detroit lead. A holding foul. On Sally.
Well, if you're Detroit, you got to love that combination. Parrish trying to pass the ball into McHale. Parrish is a catcher. McHale is the catcher. And that means there's not going to be very good pitching in this ball game.
It's a long, tall Sally, but not quite long and tall enough. On that particular play, Bird, great look to Parrish.
They're pitch and catch. One guy can pitch, the other guy catches. Parrish gets 2.
56-55. Detroit leads. They haven't won here since December 19th, 1982. 19 games counting playoff activity. Isaiah, nope. Big battle for the rebound. Lambier, McHale, the next one. Boy, they're banging around out there. They go to Parrish again. Ainge for 3. Yes. His second of the night. He's 2 out of 3, and that's 14. And he shoots Boston into a 2-point lead. With 10:27 left third quarter. Dumars into traffic, drew the foul as he missed. The slam dunk won't go. Ames the foul, I believe. His third.
Well, that's one of the ways to take care of Danny Ainge, is to make him play some defense at the other end. Dumars attacked that time and found a seam, and he gets himself to the free throw line.
Joe has only 2 points in this game. Boy, he has really worked to improve himself as a player, Danny Ainge. Especially in that three-point department. Boy, Barrett really popped Lambier with an elbow. I don't know if you could see it, but his head snapped back. Great block by Sally. It was long and tall enough that time. Ainge knocks that one. McHale with Parrish. It's McHale. Boston by 2. Dumars. His second basket of the night. He has 6 points. We are knotted at 60. 9.5 minutes left, third quarter. Parrish stripped away beautifully. Dumars having a big third quarter. Dennis Rodman on the move. Got it.
Those are the kinds of shots that Rodman makes, the ones that are tough little runners.
And Detroit has reclaimed the lead by 2. Rodman makes Bird earn him.
Now they double team Parrish, but they don't swing the ball quick enough. Jackson still gets the shot.
From the head of the circle. Dennis has 9. And Parrish called for a foul.
You'll see him pushing and shoving down low.
There's another one.
Just a little push. But Boston has made some uncharacteristic fouls in the sense that they've come after plays or from places where they normally wouldn't. Dumars from the corner.
They moved it beautifully, got him the open jump, and Dumars is 8 points in the game, 6 of them in this quarter. 64-62, Detroit. McHale against Sally, who checks it. Parrish beats Lambier.
The crowd is up in arms here. They wanted a foul on John Sally after Parrish hammered that dunk home.
He put that one down with some enthusiasm. We're tied again. Lambier, good look to Rodman. Foul on Parrish. Here's a look at the Parrish dunk moments ago.
Well, the Boston Celtics get excellent movement, and they swing the ball in a strong move by by Parrish, and he fires it home, and Sally came in with his arm, and they wanted to foul. Well, the crowd was still buzzing and booing when it came back to Rodman, who picked up the drive and foul off of Robert Parrish.
Rodman is only a 53% free throw shooter, and late in close games, that is really a problem for him and his team. He just has it awful time. Here comes Dennis Johnson up the floor. It's a 1-point lead for the Pistons. Dennis, McHale, he's pushed to 2-2. Sally picks it up. That's 2 on Sally. In foul trouble, Parrish has 3. He's the only man on either team with as many as 3 fouls. And he's a veteran, smart player, so that doesn't figure to be a huge problem for Boston.
Well, here in Boston Gardens, the fans are not accustomed to seeing their lads in white not get the best of the whistles. McHale gets both of those free throws.
You trying to tell me something with that comment? No. didn't think so. Isaiah Thomas into the lay. Oh, what a pass. Surprise Saleh comes out of there with it.
That was probably a shot Thomas should have taken. He's 5 feet away, and now he's got to go against the clock and Bird, which is down to 5.
Now it's a 2, but he got it up and got it in. Isaiah has 8. And good luck, McHale. He's on the deck, but he got the hoop. Kevin has 20 after a slow start. Boston by 1. No whistle. Parrish got mugged. Rodman the rebound.
Well, if you're a Piston fan, they're saying this is payback. How many times have they come in here and felt that they needed to get some whistles and they haven't? It's been a physical contest. They get a whistle against John Sally down low against McHale.
Sally's third foul. 6:48 left in the third quarter. We're building towards some finish. Detroit by 1, and we will return.
Is 10, and he got it against the shot clock, which was at 1 off the glass.
Tell you what, a lot of people don't really understand how difficult it is to be a point guard on a good team. Not only do you have to take care of your own business, you got to take care of other guys' business, keep them happy, keep them involved. It's a tremendous responsibility, and it's very, very difficult. Lenny Wilkins, now the Cleveland coach, one of the best I ever saw at that. Mahorn gets Sally. 69-68 Detroit. Parrish, Lambier exchange pleasantries. Score it and a foul. Lambier second. The crowd loves that.
Someone or something stuck a burr under the saddle of Robbie Parrish because his eyes had fire in them on this play. He wanted that ball, and that's one of his favorite spots, a little push, and he now has a chance for a three-point play.
11 for Parrish. 71-69. That's only 2 fouls on Lambier. Isaiah takes care of his own business this time. He has 10. .6:15 left, third quarter.
And the guy that's really been quiet this year, they've been working Parrish inside.
He and Lambier just beating the daylights out of one another. 73-71. Right now, Parrish getting the better of it.
Well, I was going to say the guy that's been quiet in the period has been Bird. The horn comes back. That's going to put Parrish on the bench because that's his 4th personal foul. Now they're going to the A train over there, so they're going to fight fire. And I mean serious fire with fire because Gilmore, even though he may be slow, he's awfully strong.
He'll make his first appearance of the night.
If there's ever a time that Goliath was going to get a round of applause, it's right now because they want to see some of these Pistons backing down.
As Gilmore checks in, Lambier could be excused for thinking this is a ridiculous way to make a living. Mahorn makes 1 out of 2. His 12th point of the night. It's 73-72 Boston. 5:40 left, third quarter.
Well, with Parrish out again, you would think that they would stop looking in the middle so much and try to find Larry Bird.
Ames finds him in three-point country. Good job by Ames. Bird has 16. Boston leads by 4. 5:20 left, third quarter. Thomas.
Now Mahorn is going to have a tough time holding his ground.
They call it on Gilmore. Boston fans wanted an offensive foul. No chance.
Right here, Gilmore gives him a bump. Mahorn works, and then he comes right through him. And had Gilmore really been able a chance to just establish without falling back, he probably would have gotten that call.
And maybe should have gotten it. Mahorn has his 13th point.
Well, from the way the crowd has responded, Skip, they're telling us this game has playoff implications for sure.
That's the way the two teams are playing it, too. It is a physical thing. McHale fades, fires, misses. Detroit can tie the game. Rodman clears the board. Mahorn thought about it. Now he's glad he did it. He's had a huge night. 16 points off the bench.
5 quick wins in this period, and the Pistons have tied it back up.
Off the bench, Detroit has outscored Boston 30-4.
Well, whenever they've gotten in trouble, they've gone back to the handyman, and Bird comes in with the big drive.
Dumore is up the court. Isaiah against Danny Ainge. Gilmore and Mahorn bang away at one another. Offensive foul. Mahorn threw an elbow.
You take a look at it. He's getting massaged and held pretty good, and there's a little cork shot as Gilmore comes over the top, and he rushed for the last little glove tap.
Take your pick. Gilmore sets the pick. Now it resolves. Bird one-on-one with Rodman. Drew the foul, score it. Gilmore and Lambert shove at one another. Rodman the foul. His third.
Well, again, the thing that Rodman has to remember is Bird is twice as dangerous inside with penetration and making passes and getting fouls as he is out on the perimeter. So make him beat you over the top. Lambert comes out of the ball game to a chorus of boos. John Sally back in.
Bird now has 21 points to go with his 8 rebounds.
And Bird didn't have any about 3 minutes ago in the period. He now has 8.
A 5-point lead. Down to the deck goes Isaiah Thomas away from the ball. And a foul on Dennis Johnson. It's bonus time for Detroit. This quarter has been about as physical as anything you'll see.
Well, I've always thought whenever you get a physical contest, the way you try to beat that is to move the ball and move the people a little bit quicker so that people don't get a chance to get their hands on them. Screens aren't allowed to be set quite as hard.
This is Eastern Conference basketball. Pound it inside and take your chances. And this program authorized under rights granted by the NBA solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited. Both free throws good. 81-78 Boston, and they have the ball. Bird has been hot. He goes to McHale.
They're going to force McHale to give it up.
Boston does just what Steve Jones said they would. Dennis has 11. 83-78. 3:20 left, third quarter.
You want Rodman out there on the perimeter. He throws up a 3.
Which surprises Chuck Daly, and that's putting it mildly. Danny Ainge, front court. Ainge again for 3. Gilmore gets the rebound. Boston starts over. Bird. Let's see what the call is.
There was contact before he traveled. Dennis Rodman was going crazy, you know.
It's his 4th foul. And Detroit calls timeout. Standing ovation for the Celtics here. They lead by 5, and they'll be at the line with 2:48 left in the third quarter. 83-78. Our producer tonight doing his normal fine job, Kim Belton, and Thomas Lapsley Smith is our director. Best in the business.
Well, you look at the score and it reflects a tight ball game, but the Boston Celtics have been shooting lights out in the period. They've only missed 5 times, 12 of 17. Detroit's not doing too bad. They're 8 of 13 themselves, but right now Bird has taken command of the ball game. First it was Parrish, and they worked him until he got 4 personal fouls. Then Bird comes in, and he's working on 10 points in the period with this next free throw.
Boston by 6. That may be their biggest lead of the game. It is 7 points now. Detroit's biggest lead has been 8. A long way to go. We're still in the third. Dumars draws a foul. Let's see who's up. McHale. That's 3 on McHale.
Dumars has had a big period, and he's got an offensive minded. They run a good little curl play for him, and he uses that quickness to get inside.
Incidentally, Larry Bird very quietly has said that when his current contract expires 2 years down the road after this one, that may be it for him. And he will still be at the peak of his game, and you know he's not trying to negotiate at this time. I'm sure he's very serious about that, at least right now.
It was quiet in the rest of the country. It was a bombshell here in Boston.
Dumars has 12, 10 in the quarter. Getting rougher and rougher. Bird brings it up. McHale draws attention. Dennis Johnson drives and misses, but there's McHale. He's got 22.
Now this is the way the Boston Celtics want it. They want penetration and use their ability to get to the glass. Dantley has yet to get involved along with Isaiah Thomas.
Thomas drills it from 18. Dantley hasn't gotten untracked at all. It's a tough role for him, a new role coming off the bench. Bird has it knocked loose, but gets it back. For McHale to the hole. What a block by Mahorn. He made a great play. Isaiah Thomas.
Well, Isaiah's got to realize who he had on him, but they end up with the perimeter try for Dantley. But he had Gilmore out there, and he was trying to get that quick penetration.
It's a 3-point game. We have a minute 27 left, third quarter. Bird gets a double team. Gives Dennis Johnson the open jump. He misses. A whistle, a foul. Gilmore and Mahorn have it at it. Lambier returns to the game.
Well, this has been going on for some time, and you knew that Mahorn was eventually going to take exception, as you'll see him pushing and shoving. As long as they're doing that, nothing is going to happen.
Isaiah Thomas, by the way, was calling for the foul. He's probably saying, what did I do? These guys beating each other to death.
Akers comes in, McHale goes out. One thing we know for sure, the Boston Celtics are not going to come in mass with their bench like they did in the second period. That's when the game really swung in favor of the Detroit Pistons. Isaiah Thomas talking to Ed Rush, trying to understand why he got the whistle.
88-84 Boston, a minute 23 left, third quarter. DJ has 13. All the Celtics starters in double figures. They only have 4 points off their bench. Bird took the foul.
Now this is going to be a foul against Akers all over the top of Adrian Dantley. The crowd again responds to almost any kind of contact right here. Now Lambier going to go down. Again, that might tell you about the strength, but also tell you about the acting ability of the players in the NBA. It's pretty good.
Looked like Boston wanted the foul that time down. They certainly didn't want to foul this guy.
No, he dreams of being fouled.
He seeks his 9th point. A lot of fouls in this quarter. It has really gotten rough.
Well, what the fouls have also done is slow the tempo of the ball game down. Dantley misses that opportunity.
Detroit has missed 6 free throws. Boston hasn't missed any. There have been a ton of them here in the third quarter. Bird against Stanley. Double team. Dennis Johnson swings it. Aims for 3. Yeah. He's got 17. He's made 3 of those. 92-85. Less than a minute. Dantley spins. Won't go. Bird the rebound. Dennis Johnson brings it up. Boston can build the biggest lead either team has enjoyed in the game if they score here. 33 seconds left. Bird thought about it, didn't do it.
Now, if you're going to double team, that's the guy you got to make shoot the ball. He misses that chance inside, and it's going to come back to the Detroit Pistons.
Detroit can play, well, they'd have to shoot it with 3 seconds left.
What Detroit wants at this point is just a good scoring opportunity. They have struggled here in the last couple of minutes, so they want to get something where they got a good chance to get a ball in the air and get it down.
I just keep watching Mahorn and Gilmore. What a tug of war that is. Mahorn shoots the jumper. No, and a whistle and a foul on Detroit. Might be Lambier, and I think it is. His third. So Boston will shoot the 1-and-1 with 4 seconds left, and they can build a 9-point lead.
Now, what's happened in the period is the Boston Celtics have gotten the Detroit Pistons to play a physical type of basketball and get more occupied with knocking people around than playing the game. There's going to be some contact, but what you want to do is try to avoid it. Right now, they're headhunting. They're looking for it. I don't see any linebackers out there.
Tell you what, I don't know if Artis Gilmore has a rebound. He doesn't have a point, but he has been very important to.
Since he came in the ball game, he has changed the complexion because all they have done is push and shove and grab and hold, and it's turned into favor of who? The Boston Celtics.
14 for Dennis Johnson. You see the time remaining. They don't get it away. And at the end of 3, the Celtics have built their biggest lead, but it is far from over. Stay with us. 93-85. Boston leads Detroit after 3. Makes this game for Detroit that much bigger as Atlanta has suddenly apparently put the pieces back together. Randy Whitman has begun to shoot the jump shot again. It has been on vacation most of the year for him. And Atlanta still has a chance to catch Detroit in the Central.
Well, Dennis Johnson has played a big role in this ball game tonight. You see how he feels about this ball game, and certainly he knows that the Boston Celtics want to hang on to the home court advantage. They feel invincible here at the Boston Garden. Well, someday, somehow, he hopes that he'll get back to play. A lot of the fans and many of his teammates hope that it'll be late this season. In case you forgot, that's Bill Walton.
Thought so. Isaiah Thomas brings it up the floor.
Well, big period for Boston. They scored 40 points, and now Detroit has got to answer with some offense.
Lambier against Bird. He has the steal. So now Boston can go up by 10 if they convert. Kirk Minifield back in the game.
Now you got to really concentrate on Bird. If you're the Detroit Pistons, with the substitutes that they've made, they don't have a lot of offense out there other than Danny Ainge.
Thomas works against Ainge. Can't get inside. Now does an acrobatic move, but he missed, and Bird the rebound for Ainge. And again, Boston slows it down. We've played 50 seconds of the final quarter. Steve Jones, Skip Carey with you from the sold-out Boston Garden.
Wants a shot inside. Isaiah Thomas trying to get around, pick up the personal foul. But this is a point of the ball game where Isaiah Thomas has got to decide that he's going to make a difference in the ball game for the Detroit Pistons.
McHale checks back in. Bird takes a rest.
You see again, Casey Jones learned a lesson early. I can't have all of my guys on the bench out there against this team. They're too good, and it creates too much pressure for them to try to find a way to score.
Boston, a great free throw shooting team, so Detroit can ill afford getting into foul trouble. Vinnie Johnson almost stole it, in fact did. Minifield touched it last. Detroit brings it up. 93-85, 10:40 remaining. Neither team has scored yet in this quarter. It's on Akers.
Stanley is yet really to get his offensive game in gear, but you know his eyes light up whenever he sees a guy 6'9" or 6'10" out on the perimeter. Again, Casey Jones shuffling people in and out. Gilmore gets a standing ovation from the crowd here at the Boston Garden as Perry comes back in.
They're good basketball fans here. They know the contribution Gilmore made. It won't show in the box score, but Bentley.
Well, you know, Red Auerbach, he likes to pat people on the back, and if they give out a game ball, he might give it to Artis Gilmore just for what his presence did in that run, which allowed the Boston Celtics to break the game open.
Bentley with 10. It's 93-87. Far from over. Boston by 6. Ainge against Dumars. Akers played by Dantley. Dirk Minifield with the ball. Ainge spots up for 3 and misses. The Parrish had it, lost it. Lambier comes out of there with it. Vinnie Johnson. Ainge stole it. Parrish with it now. No whistle. I don't think either official saw any of that.
Well, what
hustling to get back.
When Ainge stopped right in front of him and Vinnie Johnson started to go down, the ball popped up. So Ainge made a good, smart play at the defensive end.
Minifield all alone. Yes. His first points, the 5th and 6th points scored by Boston reserves in the game. 95-87. Bird about to return. Dantley's set shot. No. Akers rips the rebound down. Ainge winds up with it. Again, Boston can go up by 10. They've had that opportunity before, been unable to do it.
Right here, they give some help, and that means Minifield's going to be open again.
Good effort, but he missed, and a foul on Akers battling for the rebound. That's his 3rd.
Again, a quick breather for Larry Bird. Akers goes out of the ball game. Bird comes back in.
Vinnie Johnson. Line drive jumper short. Ainge out of there with it to McHale. Detroit has scored just 2 points in 3 minutes here in the final quarter.
Well, if you looked at some of the shot selection, it would be easy to understand why as the Celtics take their 22nd timeout.
Come to think of it, Boston's only scored 2 points in the first 3 minutes of the quarter.
But we got it. Who's got the lead? That's what they're saying. Is they're over there talking. They're saying, hey, we the guys in white, and they've got to catch up.
Don't forget, Tuesday night, Seattle and the Lakers at 10:35 Eastern Time, and then on Friday, Phoenix goes against the Golden State Warriors. Bob Neal, Rick Barry will have both those games for you right here on TBS. Braves baseball gets started, by the way, on Tuesday night. Braves will be glad to get spring training over with. West Palm Beach is nice, but the standings haven't been. So we'll clean off the slate and start anew on Tuesday, Atlanta. Here, Danny Ainge will inbound. Bird goes to the hole, left hand. Yes. He's got 25. It's a 10-point game. Biggest lead for either team. Dantley can't get it away. Lambier didn't even look for his jump shot. Vinnie Johnson. He looks for his and gets the rebound. And adjusts and drills it. Johnson now with 9. Atlanta won their game. They can move to within 2 of Detroit.
Detroit and Chuck Daly said they wanted to have some more pressure, but they've allowed Boston to move the ball and get it to people where they can do some damage. As McHale got it again in the low post against McHale. to pick up the personal foul.
Third on Mahorn. And if you let Boston go to that foul line time after time, they'll break your heart. McHale, 22 points, 10 rebounds. He's got 24, Bird 25, Ames 17, Dennis 14, Parrish 13. Mahorn back in, wheels to the hoop, offensive foul, he hooked it. And he's close to a technical foul.
They call a delay of game, but Mahorn made the quick spin and the elbow came out. You know what he's saying? He can hold it the other end all night long.
Boston can move to a 12-point lead. 7:55 left. Bird for three. Parrish committed the foul, his fifth. Tell you what, these are difficult games to officiate, too, with so much contact.
They make it real tough, and the officials, for the most part, have done a pretty good job tonight. But the Detroit Pistons here in the fourth period just don't have any offensive continuity.
Great move, Vinnie Johnson. He has 11. 99-91, 7:22 left.
Now, they've got plenty of time in the ball game to establish some sort of offensive rhythm, but they've also got to get some stops at the other end.
Minifield misses. Big battle. Parrish lost it. Recovered by Mahorn.
Johnson wants this shot.
He's hot. Well, when he gets it going, he can turn a game around single-handedly. He's got 13. Boston wants and gets timeout. It's far from over. 6:59 remaining in regulation. Boston enjoys a 6-point lead, but the Pistons appear to be on their way back.
Are in desperate need of a hero, and they're trying to find someone that's got instant offense, and no one better suits that role than Vinnie Johnson. Strong drive inside.
Okay, Boston will inbound with 6:59 left. They lead 99-93. Steve Jones, Skip Carey with you from the Boston Garden. Dennis Johnson up top.
Gilmore wants this one. They don't bring him the basketball. They come back to Bird. Tough drive.
It won't go for him, and Lambier, who's done a yeoman's job, has the rebound.
Dantley, he's had the lane at the other end. He's looking to try to make something happen.
Two great players operate against one another here. Lambier goes to the jumper. Mahorn's on the desk. The basket is good. Lambier, only his second basket of the second half. He's got 19. 99-95. 6:12 left in regulation. Bird is crashed by Mahorn. They both hit the deck. I think it was Mahorn.
We'll go back and we'll take a look at some of the physical contact. It looks, at least Mahorn gives the feeling that it was a lot tougher than it really was. As he was leaning, Gilmore just gently pushed him to the floor, and then he comes back and picks up the personal foul. That is 5 against Rick Mahorn.
Bird has 25 and 10 rebounds.
Come out of the ball game, as well as Gilmore. Parrish returns with his 5 personal fouls, and John Sally will replace Mahorn. But the trade-off is Sally just has not been effective down low tonight, so Parrish may be able to play.
101-95. We have reached the halfway mark in the final period. Dumars offensive foul. Isaiah Thomas, 12 points each.
You'd have to wonder where Isaiah Thomas is if now we come down the stretch drive. 5:55 to go in the ball game, and he's on the bench. And he has played sensational basketball in the last 10 ball games for them.
Tell you where he is. He's right between James Edwards and Dennis Rodman on the bench. But Gale, he gets more baskets like that. He's got 26, 103-95 with 5.5. Detroit calls timeout, so Boston has fought off their first surge of the second half. 5:33 left in regulation. It's an 8-point Boston lead, and we will return. 95 with 5:33 left in the game.
Well, you know, there's still plenty of time in the ball game for the Detroit Pistons to get back in it. In the second half of play, they really haven't demonstrated the offensive continuity that they had in the first half. Isaiah Thomas does rejoin the contest along with Benny Johnson, John Sally, Bill Laimbeer, and Adrian Dantley.
There's time for Detroit. This guy showed signs of heating up. He tried to shovel it inside and went off Dennis Johnson, and the ball goes to Detroit on the end line. These teams meet again here on April 19th. Benny Johnson has been hot. He still is. He has 15, 8 in the quarter, 4 baskets. They've all come in the last 3 minutes. 103-97. Then he plays Dennis Johnson. Larry Bird goes to the hole. Great pass. Harris has it knocked away. Good job, Laimbeer.
That's the guy they're going to have to shut down. Keeping the ball out of his hand and making them go through someone else. Bird has gotten involved in making some other plays. Dantley is going to come out of the ball game. Rodman will replace him.
8 seconds on the 24-second clock as Bird triggers it in on the end line. If he can, he's having trouble. He gets it in to Dennis Johnson, knocked away by Benny Johnson. Now 7 on the 24-second time. Five, 4, 3. Dennis Johnson in and out. Bird missed the tip. Benny Johnson the rebound. Bird from behind tried to swipe. Oh, great pass and a foul. Sally got the hoop. That's only his second basket of the night. A very, very big one it was.
Well, they haven't had many chances to run here in the second half of play, but that breaking opportunity couldn't have come at a bigger time. After a good inside chance for Bird, they come up with the ball and they push it. Sally has a chance for the three-point play.
And can bring his team to within 3 points with 4:51 left. Just another night at the beach for Rick Mahorn over on the Detroit bench. He's got that back problem, and I imagine sprawled out like that alleviates the pressure on his back.
Good pressure by Benny Johnson to force the Celtics to work against the shot clock, which is at 9.
Boy, they're really aggressive defensively. McHale against 3 men and a foul. That might have been a charge. We'll look at it again. 4 on Laimbeer.
Well, they did a good job of pressuring, and Laimbeer came down. And the reason he said is I was there, and the official's going to say, but you weren't set. McHale answered with a three-point play for Boston.
He's got 29. His season's high is 33. It's 106-100. Detroit has made 6 of their last 7 shots. Harris, the rebound, got the dribble down to avoid a walk. Can't unload. Now he does to the ever-present Larry Bird. 4:05 left. 106-100.
Plenty of time, and Detroit just has to play good, hard defense and force that ball over the top.
There is Watts. He left his feet. Here comes Detroit again. Time becoming a factor. Detroit calls timeout. Timeout on the floor. 3:50 left now. Detroit has the ball. They are down by 6, and we've got a dandy from Boston. Stay with us. Quick play is brought to you by Polaroid Spectra System. Hold the picture in your hand while the feeling is still in your heart.
Now, our picture-perfect play is a nightmare for the big guy, John Sally, inside. Whenever the Boston Celtics have been able to get the ball down in deep to Robert Parrish, he's been able to cock the hammer and throw it down. And coaches say that's the way big guys are supposed to play inside.
Isaiah Thomas still, well, he's just checked back into the game for Detroit.
You see in the last 3 ball games, he's averaging over 30 points a ball game, and he misses an opportunity out of the timeout. Boston trying to run.
And can't, and Dennis Johnson wisely takes it back outside. Danny Ainge has returned, and Boston is going with what Brenham for the rest of the way. Isaiah hits the deck. Ainge finds Dennis Johnson. They ran the clock and got the basket. They ran 21 seconds off the shot clock and then got the hoop. 108-100. 3:12 left. Vinnie Johnson has been the hottest Piston in this final quarter. Sally, they go to him. He got it. So John Sally coming out of it here. He has 7 in the game, 5 in this quarter. 108-102 with 2:50 remaining.
Now, if you're Detroit, you want the same effort that they had at the defensive end with that ball coming out over the top. They got him at 10, about 20 feet away from the hoop.
Bird shoots the J.
One guy's got the ball.
He's got 29. 2:25. Isaiah wants a 3-point play. Finds Radman. Block McHale. Radman again. No. Parrish, rebound. And a foul on Radman. And Parrish comes up hurting a little bit after that one. He's had back problems. Radman's fifth.
Well, you'll take a look and you'll see the help that Bird gets from Robert Parrish. Just a little bit of a screen, and that's all he needs. A sliver of daylight, and it's up and down, and now the Boston Celtics have a chance to make it a 10-point lead with Robert Parrish at the free throw line.
Boston always does the little things that help you win the game. So the Lakers, and that's why they get together or have in the springtime the last few years.
Against their Eastern Conference opponent, they've always been able to do those little things just a little bit better, and that has made the difference, and they've been able to hang on to that home court advantage.
Parrish seeks his 15th point. He doesn't have it. Only the second miss at the line for Boston today. 111-102 with 2:07. Dantley's a guy who can get you 3-point play.
Well, he's kind of just confused at the offensive end.
Dennis Johnson, a big interception, and we're in the 2-minute period. Boston by 9 and running a little clock. For 3. Goodbye. For Bird. Detroit calls timeout. Dominique Wilkins said it. When you look into Larry Bird's eyes during a game, you're looking into the eyes of an assassin. And he may have just squeezed off the final round against Detroit, Steve Jones, at least in this game.
Well, I don't think there's any question. Bird is always looking for that moment that really makes a psychological difference. If you look up on the scoreboard and you suddenly find that you're down by 12, they find Bird, he just steps back. Now, this guy, he says he doesn't like the 3-point shot, but you couldn't tell it because he's always thinking of shooting one at important times in the game.
Well, unless Detroit can stage a miracle, and I mean a miracle comeback here, their lead over the Atlanta Hawks will be down to 2, and their chances of catching Boston will be almost nil. There's a look at Larry Bird. What a player. Well, Detroit, looking at it from their point of view, this will be 4 losses in their last 5 games unless they rally. But at least they have come in here and been competitive. Their first time in here this year, it was a slaughter, 38 points. No cigar yet for Mr. Auerbach.
Well,
I don't know if he uses them anymore.
Fred is saying, you know, he still comes to win, and when he talks about Larry Bird, but, you know, a loss is a loss. And when you've lost 42 straight times, pretty soon, one side of your head begins to hurt a lot more than the other.
This would be 20 straight for Boston over Detroit here. And what are they against? 76-2 or something against
Eastern Conference opponents. With a win tonight, they'll be 73-2
in their last 75 games. That's why they feel the home court advantage might be rather important for them. If you can hear us or not, folks, Isaiah Thomas just made a three-pointer. Boston has the ball back with 1:25 remaining. All we could hear is our studio in Atlanta. Rodman for three. That won't go. A terrible, terrible shot. Kevin McHale into the front court.
Well, they should have taken the two.
Time is a waster. Larry Bird. Danny Ainge. He'll shoot two. Isaiah got it.
Fans take exception to the hard foul on Ainge as Isaiah Thomas went into the crowd. You'll see right here, he comes right at him. And I think that's part of the frustration of the night, of knowing that they had a chance in this ball game to maybe do something, and they somehow let it slip away. And now Boston is just icing that cake.
115-105. This would be the biggest lead if Ainge scores his 19th point. He does. It is. Less than a minute remaining. 116-105. Lambert for three, and he drilled it. Lambert has 22.
You know, the Celtics are just going to volleyball that ball around. 116-109. They want to use some clock. Benny Johnson trying to make a steal.
Trying to commit a foul, and finally does. 116-108 with 38 seconds left, and the folks head for home here.
You know what this is like. This is like being out on the desert with one drop of water left and trying to decide when you're going to drink it, because it's going to be dry the rest of the night. Dennis Johnson back on that line, and he's trying to just pour some more sand.
It might be dry the rest of the night for you and the Pistons, but that's for... Dennis Johnson has 17. Happy April Fool's Day, by the way. He makes one out of two. And Detroit again calls a timeout. We'll keep it here. 37 seconds remaining. 117-108 is the score. I know you don't want to be a coach, you say, but if you were the coach of the Detroit Pistons, Chuck Daly, what do you say to your team, either in the locker room after the game tonight or on the bus to the airport tomorrow or when you next practice? How do you pick this club up? Because this is, and Atlanta has gone through everybody in the East has gone through the same frustration in this building. And it's got to be a huge psychological edge for Boston.
Well, it's a big psychological edge, but you got to say to them, fellas, we got one more time to beat this team before the regular season is over. Let's concentrate on getting back to playing that good basketball that they were playing prior to the three tough losses that they had, and then this loss tonight. And then they can feel that anything can happen. But right now, the Pistons are a little bit out of sync. We saw it in their execution coming down the stretch. There was some confusion, and certainly Chuck Daly, and he said it tonight before the ball game, they have not played well as they have over the past year in close ball games. Last year, they led the NBA in wins 12 with 3 points or less.
Don't forget, upcoming from the West Coast, Bob Neal, Rick Barry will be in Los Angeles, where Seattle plays on Tuesday night. They'll be at Golden State to take on, where Golden State takes on John Wetzel's Phoenix Suns team. And then Tuesday, April 12th, back in Los Angeles, the Lakers and your Portland Trailblazer team. All those games at 10:35 Eastern, right here on the Superstation. And Braves baseball gets underway this coming Tuesday as well. We'll have that at 7:35. The Cubs and Braves from Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. So a big night of sports, followed by NBA action from out west.
And they're looking for Isaiah Thomas to try to get a three. He's in the corner.
Bird made perhaps the only mistake of the night. Isaiah still can't buy it. Paxson the rebound, Rodman the foul. He's history. Rodman fouls out with 9. Joe Dumars comes back in with 25 seconds left. Brad Lohaus into the game for Boston. Reggie Lewis gets a look. Fred Roberts checks in. And Jim Paxson will look for his first points. Off the bench.
Well, it was the starters that did it tonight for the Boston Celtics.
Off the bench, Detroit has outscored them 43-6. But they're losing by 9, and Boston's at the line.
And you know what they keep saying here in Boston? Who needs a bench?
You know, they'll need a bench less, perhaps, in the playoffs, where you get a day or two between games. Paxson makes both free throws, his first points of the night. Thomas, Vinnie Johnson makes an athletic play, but then falling out of bounds, throws it away. It's really not important. Paxson missed the layup. Lohaus the tip. 10 seconds left. 121-108. It was close all night till the last 5 minutes. For 3, Vinnie Johnson misses. It's not important. Horn jams it home with 2 seconds. It's over. Boston 121, Detroit 110. Still not since December 19th, 1982 has Detroit won a game in the Boston Garden. They've lost 20 in a row. We will return. I'd like to thank Rick Barry for not doing it.
Oh, now, wait. It may be April Fool's, but there's still a thought in his mind that he still can come back.
Yeah, now that they did that tape, I'm sure the thought's a little stronger. 121-110. Boston wins the game over Detroit. It was a good one until the last 3 or 4 minutes when Boston with Larry Bird did their thing once again. And tonight's Miller Lite player of the game is Larry Bird. 32 points, 12 rebounds, 11 of 22 from the field. The three-point basket that broke it open late. And on behalf of Miller Lite, Turner Broadcasting proud to donate $1,000 to the Multiple Sclerosis Foundation in his name. For Steve Jones, Skip Carey from Boston. Happy April Fool's Day, everyone. So long, everybody.